Imagine what it would be like to meet your hiking hero, John Muir, Alfred Wainwright, Bob Marshall, Phyllis and Don Monday, Celia Hunter. Well, we met ours. I'm Jay.
And I'm Mary, and this is our story.
At the northern curve of the Pacific lies a crenulated land cut by ice and ocean. Prince William Sound is rugged, wild, and beautiful. It is largely roadless and unpopulated, and home to abundant wildlife.
Cold, rich waters support many marine mammals in deep passages and bays.
For over 40 years, we have been drawn here by the scenery, the solitude, the wildlife, and the rugged country to explore.
Ringed by glacial mountains, the primary access to this area is by water. In kayaks, small boats, ferries, or floatplanes, water is the way into Prince William Sound.
In 2021, we had our 40th wedding anniversary, and to celebrate, we decided to do 40 day-long outdoor adventures within the year.
To help remember and share this quest, we invested in several cameras and made a video diary of each adventure, a new endeavor for both of us.
Being active in the outdoors together has been a big part of our bond during these decades. Skiing, snowshoeing, kayaking, and hiking. Our 40th anniversary adventures were done in Alaska, Colorado, and Utah.
In early September, we were back in Prince William Sound, waiting for a weather window to do adventure number 33.
The evening before that adventure, we made the following video to explain what it's like hiking from a boat in Prince William Sound.
Just want to explain a little bit about our boat. This is Eider. This is the smaller of our two boats. And we had some questions once upon a time if we stay out here. And yeah, these are our like little floating cabins. They're so cool to have a boat because it opens up so much country for you. So we're sitting on our fridge, got a nice Yeti. We got a little bathroom on board and a nice little kitchen table. Have everything we need. So kayak on top.
Yeah, the hiking from a boat in Prince William Sound combines two things that we really love, hiking and boating. The really great thing about the Prince William Sound is that we have these bogs that come right down to tide water. And so to get up to the Alpine, you generally hike from a bog. Maybe you have to go through some trees and bushwhack a little bit, but you can then get into the Alpine and hike ridges until you get to some peaks. And so a lot of people come to Prince William Sound to boat, to fish, maybe to beachcomb, do things on the water, kayak, hunt, but what we really love to do is hike.
One other thing that's pretty unique about Prince William Sound, and that the boats help you access this country, but because a lot of people don't hike out here, there aren't trails. There might be some bear trails here and there and around the salmon streams that we have followed.
Some deer trails.
Sometimes deer trails, but generally it's all off-trail hiking. So it's just exploring, which adds a really unique sense of adventure, and often you feel like you're the first people there. So, there are some other people besides us who do this out here, but we're pretty few and far between, just because you need a boat and you need the time and the interest to hike. So, well, and so it takes a certain amount of energy. You know, you're going up some pretty steep stuff. You're swinging from trees or hanging onto bushes. But there's also a lot of beauty along the way. Jay was mentioning boating around Prince William Sound. One thing, this is, I'll just mention it here, probably say it again, it's Cruising Guide to Prince William Sound, and this was published in 1984 by the Lethcoes, Jim and Nancy Lethco, and this edition is 2009. But they started bringing their family out here, very much kindred spirits. So then you have lots of maps and directions into different anchorages, and then some of the history of the area, and then also hiking. They had a friend, May, who did some hikes that were pretty intense. Oh, it's nice. They're not step by step. They're pretty general directions.
Using May's notes on our own, clambering up sketchy slopes, hiking in thick forests, cruising along ridges or climbing peaks, we often remarked what an impressive hiker May was. He pioneered dozens of hikes, and as we followed along these challenging routes, he grew into our hiking hero. With the passing of the author Jim Lethco, and significant aging of his wife Nancy, and the last Prince William Sound cruising guide version over 12 years old, we never even considered that we might actually get to meet the mythic May.
The very next morning, we paddled to shore to begin our hike. The day was remarkable right from the beginning, watching a black bear on shore and paddling through the densest bloom of jellyfish we had ever seen. After stashing our kayak, we were ready to begin adventure number 33. Once off the beach, we found an excellent chain of bogs leading us upward, so there was very little brush to deal with.
As we gained elevation that morning, we first noticed a sailboat anchored across the bay. Farther up the ridge, we saw a kayak paddling from the sailboat toward the shore below.
I wondered what that kayaker was up to, taking a shore break, or berry picking, or maybe they were also hiking, and if so, might we bump into them? As we continued to climb, I pondered whether we might actually see another hiker in these mountains for the very first time. I said to Mary, "Maybe it's May."
And I replied, "No, he's probably too old. Or dead." At lunchtime, we had some mixed feelings about actually seeing another hiker out here. We like solitude, yet it was neat to think about meeting another person who was a boater and a hiker, another like-minded adventurer. This is really big country, with no trails and many possible ways up the mountain. Even if that kayaker was also hiking, there's a very small chance for our routes to cross.
As we continued our climb after lunch, I turned around and I couldn't believe it. There was another hiker behind us. By now we were pretty curious to meet this fellow adventurer. The other hiker was a ways back, so we headed on toward the summit, wondering if they would continue too. Not too long after we made it to the top, the other hiker arrived and introduced himself as Paul. I asked if he had been up to speak before. He answered 5 times.
5 times? And an older hiker? Could this possibly be? I asked him, "Are you Paul May?" Yes, we had just met our hiking hero.
Top of a peak here in the Prince William Sound, and we've met the very first person we've ever met hiking, and this is Paul May, and he has hiked for how many years?
30.
30 years.
This is 31 now.
He's named the peak, so we want the story on the name of the peak.
Yes.
All right, the peak is named after the vessel sailing barge Zwerver,
I've seen Zwerver.
sailing vessel accomplice, and myself, Paul, and the owner skipper of the Zwerver is Nicky,
Nicky.
Yeah.
my mate.
Uh-huh.
So that's Zwack Poo Nick.
Zwack Poo Nick.
Few letters from each word.
That's great. Excellent.
Which is the way I name peaks. I've named a number of them after relatives mostly.
Excellent. Excellent. I've heard that one across there is called Nanjing. Did you name that one too?
I did.
Okay, we did that last year. That was scary. I was like a bear going up it. It was really steep.
Anyway, named after Jim and Nancy
Oh,
Lithgow.
was it? Oh, nice. Nanjing. Ah. Nanjing, of course. Ah,
Nancy and Jim.
Been up that one twice.
That was a intense hike, but amazing.
Once in the
Stunning
spring and
once you
once
get up
in
there.
the summer.
Wow.
I do most of my hiking in the spring
Uh-huh.
by snowshoe because the bush is buried.
Exactly. It's nice. Yeah.
But
And I guess it was early last year we went and we were doing the snowshoots down out of Bay Isles. We got up out of Bay
And
Isles
Marcia.
and snowshoed up some things up
I was
there.
down there for 2 weeks this
Oh, nice.
this spring.
Yeah.
It's really nice. It is a heavier spot for snow.
Yeah.
In the Bay
Yeah.
of Isles, the southern arm there.
Yeah.
You can go off in any direction.
Yeah. We had some nice hikes up out of Marcia too.
Yeah.
Again, I think that was one. It's like one of your directions. May says go to the south of the lake. It's like, okay, here's cliffs. Let's backtrack and go this way. But there was a beautiful, got up to a peak, I think it's 1950. And it's just built like the heart of Night Island. You know, you're just,
A few years ago, I climbed up one in that area from Northeast Cove. And I realized I was on the one that I described coming up the other way from Marcia.
Yep,
Right.
exactly, yeah. Because once you get up there, it's just beautiful. We went up several peaks. You're kind of on that plateau.
Is there if there was a favorite place, a favorite peak that you've done on here that you'd say this is the one you simply must do if you're out here?
Well, this is one of them.
This is one of them.
Yeah,
Nice.
I agree. Because I love the 360 that you get here. And it's same like from Jim's Rest, the top of Glacier Island. You know, I love, that's the other one we really love. Just because, again, you're just in the center of
about
something.
3 weeks ago.
Oh, great. we were
Just missing each other.
We
right?
must have, yeah.
Because we were out on the ridge with our kids. We didn't make it to the top, but
our adult kids came. We were hiking with the Chihuahua.
I hiked the
Rhubarb.
lower one too, because I happened to not been on that one before.
You say, is it just you on your boat, or do you have
Just me, yeah.
just you? Yeah.
And Nikki's out here in her own boat, and you can't
Okay.
have two captains in the same boat.
That's true. Okay, that I know. Well, yeah. So he's captain.
Here's Paul's boat Accomplice in front and Nikki's boat Swerver behind.
Came up here for 1 year 30 years ago.
Really? And then there's just fell in love with the place and people.
Well, I'd come up here once before. Some friends of mine dragged me along on a charter with Jim and Nancy in the middle 80s.
Okay.
And they wanted a little more experience, so I came with them and realized, well, someday I'm going to sail my boat out up here now. So I left California with the idea of circumnavigating.
Oh yeah.
And went out to Hawaii and then up to here as a side trip. This is where I was going to finish.
Let's take a side trip to Alaska from Hawaii. I've heard you can do it in a long tack, so yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, that's why I went to Hawaii, so I didn't have to beat up the coast.
Okay, yeah.
But, yeah, I got up here and I haven't left yet.
Good plan. We're glad you're here.
Yeah.
Yeah. This
No.
is just so exciting to meet you.
Yeah, it is. Do you have like a job in Valdez or something?
Just
No,
hike.
no.
Yeah.
No, I gave up working. I didn't realize I had. I figured it would be a 10-year trip.
Yeah.
Nest egg, and well, the nest egg hasn't gone down still. And I live
Sweet.
cheap, so
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. So how much did you hike out here with Let's Go? Did you just sort of give them information for their book, or did you actually do quite a bit with them?
we haven't done a whole lot together.
Yeah.
But at least not in the summertime. We'd every time they did an update of the book,
May reports.
Yeah. That's
We're like, that's what we zoom right to. May reports.
Jim would take my logs and scan them into a computer, and then they'd update that way.
Great.
The last time they did an update, that's when Jim died, just before they got into it. So I sent all my logs to Nancy, who was down in Arizona,
Oh, okay.
and she had about 50 new anchorages for my stuff.
Later that fall, Paul sent a summary of his annual logs to us. In 2021, he spent over 7 months in the Prince William Sound, and after 31 years, he has been in 502 different anchorages and climbed 403 different peaks, some multiple times.
Well,
And
we
right.
can try to follow your shoes.
Yeah.
And I think we're starting too late though.
Right.
I know. Yeah. I just turned 60, so I've got some time. Yeah.
Oh, I'm over 70.
Yeah. So but still, 500 is going to be a lot to get in.
Yeah, the next 10 years.
This is really excellent.
Yeah.
But we've wanted for years, to emulate what you and the Lethcos have done, is just to come out and just stay out all summer. But
This is what we love. This is. I envy you guys so much for being able to do this for so long. That's been kind of a dream.
I've got a topo with red dots on it. There's a red dot every summit I've been on. Every climb I've done, and red dot at every anchorage too.
Right.
So there's over 500 red dots.
That is so fantastic. Wow.
It's amazing.
That is really remarkable. Yeah.
just a tremendous, tremendous way to spend a life.
Yeah.
We spent a couple of hours sitting on that mountaintop talking with Paul. And the sandhill cranes overhead reminded us it was time to head back. We hiked down together, and we just swapped stories all the way down.
Oh, well, hey. One thing our boat doesn't have if you're out on the hook is no hot water, but that's what the Wallace is for.
I took my hot water heater out.
They've slipped down a lot.
And then we ran into this guy. We saw him scramble up into the tree as we approached. We walked on downhill while the bear kept an eye on us.
And then I saw this pot of orchids.
We continued to marvel at the serendipity of that day. How many stars needed to align to be on the very same ridge and meet at the summit and recognize him from following his routes in the Lethco book. Talking with Paul May on the summit showed us much more of his life than we knew, an incredible 30 years living full-time on his sailboat, hiking throughout Prince William Sound. This chance meeting also shifted the possibilities of our own future plans. We are fully inspired to create a similar lifestyle, hiking these mountains as much as we can. We look forward to sharing a trail with Paul May again.
There you go.
Hop.
Yeah.